know I'm going to see you again in a week, so I'm going to give this one to Sandy.
That's a good idea.
And I have
Zoe has
4.
tons of toys.
I know. I have another one just like it. Never happened. We never had a tie before. Oh my goodness. You guys are doing a great job. I'm very impressed. Look at your head. Like, oh my goodness. What is that? Yes, that's from our roadkill collection. Okay. All right. Any questions about what we did outside? Everybody feel good about what you're doing? You're doing a really good job. I'm very excited for you. All right. Let's go back and get back on our feet because now the dogs are a little tired. They've been exposed to the sun. They're not going to be moving around so much. So it's a perfect time to do what?
Stay.
Practice stay. Yeah. If they're not going to be struggling with you, full of energy, then that's a really great time to start practicing on stays. So let's everybody get up and let's do a few. See how we're doing. See what our little baseline is, and we'll go from there. You want to get up? We do have more space, so if you feel like your dog is too distracted, you can move over here behind the furniture. Yay. Good. Okay, just practice whatever level you think you're at today.
I think you gotta worry about it.
Okay, when you do 2 inches, do 2 inches.
Good job.
Stay.
Stay.
It does count.
Does it?
Yes.
Good job.
Every time you offer a cue and the dog responds correctly and you reinforce counts.
Stay.
It counts. Okay? You're going to use a hand signal. Make sure it's up here. Why?
So you can see it at a distance.
Yeah, see it at a distance and what else?
Because dogs see far away better than
They're farsighted, right. So keep your hands out of their face.
Stay.
Stay.
Look at Katie. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. Stay.
Don't pay people back.
I stepped on
That's
Katie's
right.
toe.
That's right. Don't reinforce until the exercise is complete, which means you return to where you started. And you always.
Good job. Thank you.
Stay.
Stay. And then move more.
Down.
Tim.
Stay. Stay.
Stay.
And return. Okay, look for signs of stress. Just because the dog is not moving doesn't mean that you're really in a good place at your current level of criteria. Okay? So if you see that the dog is particularly alert or very closely following you with their eyes when you move around, or you see tension, sometimes you see chattering, the jaws are chattering a little bit, then think about continuing to practice at that level or a little bit easier.
Stay.
Stay.
Sammy's a little distracted, that's okay. After that performance on the target.
Stay.
She blew all of her credit on the target. Okay, tiny little steps for the dogs that are a little touchy. Good.
Stay.
Good. Now, if your dog has a tendency to bolt if you walk away, remember we're going to leave the walk away to the end, then a small behavior chunk that you can practice is for you to pivot. Okay? So if your dog is here in front of you somewhere and you want to get them sort of desensitized to being concerned about you walking away, The first piece of that would be for you to turn and then return and pay, okay? You want the dog to be okay with you turning to walk away, as well as walking off in any other direction.
So don't do the backup, that's like chase or what?
You could do the backup as long as you go very slowly, okay? One step at a time. That's where you're gonna see the dog wanna move forward and go towards you, okay? So if you start to lean backwards a little bit, you may just be able to get this much initially. Okay? So people just kind of lean backwards, depending on what your dog's reactivity level is. Yeah, she's doing great. Okay, this is really hard. This is a very high distraction environment. I mean, they're all friends now, and they all kind of know you guys, but it's a strange place. It's not home. It's full of dogs and stuff. Very good. All right, aside from the things that we talked about earlier, is anybody having any particular problems with their stay? Now, one thing that you want to be careful not to do is try to hold the dog in place with your food. Okay, then you will only get the dog to sit still if you have food in his mouth. Oops, there you go. And back, okay? If you're having trouble keeping the dog in place, then take tiny steps and don't stay. And stay away for very long. So you just take a step and then come right back. Come right back. Good. If the dog is not staring at you, who cares? If the dog is seated and lays down, who cares? Right. If your dog goes into a coma, who cares? Well, I mean, we care, but at least he's staying, you know. He's met the criteria. Good job. All right. All right, anybody have any questions about anything we've worked on? All right, except for Jasmine, who slept in this morning. I don't know if I would drive to see from Idlewild, but that's okay. We came very close to perfect attendance for closing this class out, which is a little lovely. We do have diplomas for everything. Yay. Here's a Bella. Whoops, sorry. Here's another Bella. Yay. Notice I didn't snap that in order. I got it wrong. Hi. Yes, I owe you two. Thank you. There you go. Something to hang over your dog bed. We're on the challenge. And I will make sure. I don't have to, but I leave it in the front.
That's okay. We'll see you again.
Yes, I will see you next week. No, I didn't. Parchment sticks to everything. Shoshone. And Zoe.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Any questions, issues, problems, concerns? Before we release you back to the wild for the last time.
When do you start up again?
That's next week?
Yes, 1 week off for the holiday, and then Citizen Canine Open starts on the 12th, and Advanced starts on the 12th also. Okay. We have a clicker class that's starting on the 23rd, I think, which is Wednesday evening here. And then we'll also have our Slackers Club, which is a 4-week loose leash walking clinic. And Total Recall will start in November. End of October, November.
Slackers is what day?
Loose leash walking, that will be Sunday. Okay?
You don't have a total recall or reliable recall in here?
Total Recall will be, I think, like the middle of October. We'd like to start it when it gets cooler, because the little bit of recall work that we were able to do in this class requires some moving around. And Total Recall, really, you need 2 handlers. We meet 2 consecutive weeks, and then every other week for 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks on, a week off, a week on. Yeah, so it's over 5 weeks. Okay, and the first 2 meetings are here, and then the second 2 meetings are at other locations that we do not reveal until the class starts, because we don't want you to go there and practice. Okay? We want you to practice really, really well, so when you go someplace that's new, that the distraction level will be sufficient that you'll have hopefully trained through. Okay? We use public areas and then we go to one natural area, you know, like a hiking area or woods or something like that. Okay? All right. All the schedules for the current classes are posted on the website now, and then the clinics will be posted probably within 2 weeks as soon as we get the schedule confirmed.
A question on the stay after you practice, and I'm going to just jump into it. What is as long as you should make them ever stay?
How long do you need them to?
20 minutes? I mean, I'm just
It's
thinking
not-
the old school is a 20-minute stay, I believe.
For purpose.
Just the old training method.
I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to try to train the dog beyond 50% more than you really need him to for some utility reason, okay? So in the old days, and still a lot of people now will train dogs just so that they can say they did it,
Right.
okay? And I don't see the point of that. What's the point of that? Everybody here is working with family dogs.
Right.
So where a 20-minute downstay in a ring might be something to be excited about for somebody who's into that, the 3-minute downstay while you're paying for the pizza at the front door, to me, is a whole lot more useful. Okay? Because I know plenty of dogs that can do 20-minute downstays in a ring and can't sit still while the Domino's guy finishes his transaction. In fact, the dog is down the street. Okay? So it really matters what your criteria is.
Right.
What is it? Whatever is most useful to you, what situations are useful to you, I'm always going to tell you to train and overtrain. So if you need the dog to sit still for 5 minutes under these circumstances, train for 7.5. So that you know you're going to get that performance when you need it. Yeah?
Refresh my memory on when you start using the cue again.
Once you are sure, fairly sure that you can get the dog to do what you want them to do 9 out of 10 times, then you begin using the cue. You start pairing the cue to that behavior. Okay?
Okay, short steps 9 out of 10, then start using it.
Yeah, when you're doing that kind of training, what I would suggest is you do it, work in sets of 10 because it's easy to keep track of. Okay? So if you can do 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 3 times in a row, for 3 sessions in a row, that's time to move on.
Then start going further away without using the cue, or just establish the cue at that point.
When you first change your criteria, begin your practice without the cue. Okay? Because every time you use the cue and you don't get what you expect, the value of your cue goes down the tubes. Okay? You want your percentage to be 90 as best as you can or more. No such thing as 100, but you want to try to get at least 90. Okay? Because if you want your dog to come to you 50%, 50-50, I call him, maybe he comes, maybe he doesn't. Then 50-50 is fine. Okay? Or you want to be the sit guy on the dog park, that's fine too. Just don't tell him you came here. Okay? Cool. All right, all good questions. Anybody else? Somebody had asked about, do dogs learn by observing other dogs outside? And there's some things that they do. They learn social behavior from each other. They learn how to interact to some degree. But the kinds of things that we're teaching here, usually no. I have hardly ever seen a dog had trouble with like down stays in class, watching other, let me watch a video of other dogs doing it. I don't think it really works that way. I really don't. They mimic a little bit sometimes to get a particular result. If they figure out the other dog sitting at cookie time gets them a cookie, then they may do it. But more complex things, not necessarily. All right? All right. All right, good job. Everybody give yourself a round. Okay, what we really need to start doing is videoing the first class, because nobody was sitting still. Yourself think. And now it's like church. It's like church.
Yes. Good job.
Awesome. Only better, because you don't have to do it.
Are you after the little piece of
All right, you guys. All right, if you have questions or need help, give me a call or send me an email. Okay. And we hope to see you in class.
Camera's off.
Okay. Thank you to these for the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you put that on YouTube?